When someone dies young, it's like they stay that way forever. Like a vampire.
Well, welcome everybody to a very special podcast. This is the podcast where we watch and black out during your favorite TV shows of yesteryears. The yesteryears. Because we drink heavily, we watch TV, and we're critical.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I guess that's the whole point, right? But if this is your first time at the rodeo, I'm Patrick Dunn. You can find me on Twitter at Patrick M. Dunn, @ in the front. I'm joined here by the author, Kat Halstead. She writes books for a living. She has a Halloweenish novella out that's been out for a while.
Yes, The Spirit Board.
And because we're kind of in the Halloween season, we're going to be pimping it out for the next couple of weeks, I guess.
Yes, probably.
And it's a story about a Ouija board and like a young girl who Ouijas, and she communicates with a demon who is sexy and looks like a 90s version of Jared Leto. I believe I have that right?
Yes, that is exactly it.
But he has a sinister side to him, right?
Yes, he does.
He's not a
He's
good
out
demon.
for revenge over his broken heart from high school 20-something years before.
When does the When does the actual book take place? Like present day-ish?
Yeah, present day.
So he died in like the 90s?
Yeah.
So he's
That's why he looks like a 90s Jared Leto, is because he's from the 90s.
Does he look like this? Except probably like longer hair?
Yeah, probably longer hair.
Yeah. Well, I don't have long hair, so I didn't have time to buy a wig. In case you can't see this, I'm currently wearing a flannel and like the Jordan Catalano jacket. Authentic, or it's like a fucking Tony Hawk edition of it. I don't know. I got it at Kohl's, where you can buy your like My So-Called Life swag. But it's actually
how long have you had that jacket?
Like 5 years, like 09. But I lost it for like the last 3 winters, and it just like resurfaced. So it was meant to be.
It was meant to come back now.
Yeah, and it's getting kind of hot, so I might just take it off. It acts like it's like winter in here. But anyway, in case that wasn't a dead giveaway, tonight we're doing an episode of My So-Called Life, the 90s cult classic. It wasn't really like a smash hit.
No, it wasn't.
Entertainment Weekly. Go on.
Well, I was going to say, it wasn't a smash hit. We're lucky ABC ordered everything they did and aired everything. Like today, there's no way they would air the whole thing. It would have been like 5 episodes and done.
There's like 20-ish episodes, 19 or 20.
Yeah, it's like 19, I think.
And although it did very poorly in the ratings on its like initial like network run, MTV, the cable outlet, would constantly rerun the show. Like, I mean, there would be like marathons, like all-day marathons.
That's where I watched it. I watched it off MTV.
Yeah, I
watched it off like MTV at like dinner time with my mom and my brother.
Like, I was aware of it during its like actual run, but I didn't watch it because I don't know. It might have been like a Thursday night. I think I watched like Martin at that time. Maybe like Seinfeld.
On a Thursday night. And I don't have it up anymore.
It was like 8 p.m.
Yeah, it was on at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. It was followed by Matlock.
Oh, really? It was that time frame?
Yeah.
Matlock was on ABC?
Yeah. I had no idea.
I thought that was a CBS joint.
Show. Because everybody's like, CBS was for old people. And I'm like, oh, they probably had Matlock. Nope, that was ABC.
Damn. Okay.
Well, because I looked up the actual TV schedule from 1994, the day this episode aired.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Yeah, well, at first I looked up Halloween because I was like, what the heck was I doing on Halloween 1994? Because I'm like, I don't think I went trick-or-treating. So what the hell was I watching at home?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I looked at it, I was like, I must have just watched, like, whatever. There's, like, nothing, there wasn't anything that stood out for what it was.
What night of the week was Halloween in 1994?
I decided to look up when this episode actually aired. So I looked up that night. And it aired against, like, Friends and The Simpsons. So it had a lot of stuff going against it.
Yeah, I think it was always in last place, right?
Yeah, it was. Like, it did not have a good time slot at all.
Like, it lost against Fox, which, like, was kind of newer-ish.
Yeah, which was still a newer channel.
Damn. So My So-Called Life had no chance. However, MTV would, like, air it, like, the next day or that weekend. Like, it would be on like, a Saturday afternoon at, like, 2. But, like, while it was, like, actually still on the air, though, right?
I have no idea. I didn't read anything about that, and I don't have a memory of that.
I remember being in, like, 7th grade and watching this specifically on MTV and seeing, like, because you would see, like, 3 or 4 episodes, like, in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so you get
early binge watching.
It would be, like, a Saturday afternoon it would be on from, like, noon to, like, 5 or something. And
when they weren't doing, like, Sex in the 90s marathons or Real World Road Rules marathons.
Those, like, all-day road, like, when it was, like, the end of a Real World season and they would have, like, all, like, 17,000 episodes on at once.
Yeah, exactly. I lived for those.
I did, too. That's, like, the only... I never watched... Because it was always on too late to, like, watch in reality. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to wait for, like, the Saturday afternoon marathon. Unless, like, I think Road Rules is on, like, during the summer, though.
Actually, they both were.
Really?
Mm-hmm, I think.
They didn't do, like, mid-year... I don't know, I seem to remember it being on, like on a school night and not being able to watch it. Because it was on at, like, 10 or some ungodly hour.
It was on at, like, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and I used to hate when they did new Beavis and Buttheads because they were always on at 11, and that was just way too fucking late for me to watch. So I would, like... You'd have to, like, catch the Friday night episode, and sometimes they would have them, like... on at like 1 a.m, you would just stay up all night watching them.
Yeah, see, I never really got into Beavis and Butthead.
Why not?
I didn't. Okay, so like my middle school boyfriend was totally into Beavis and Butthead.
Well, you're a chick. Not many chicks were into Beavis and Butthead back in the day.
Yeah.
There's like a few.
Well, so into them that he wrote them a letter that is supposedly in the Christmas special.
I've totally seen that Christmas special, and I remember them reading letters, but I don't know, I'll have to go back and revisit it. Mm-hmm. I think it's on Netflix, maybe, or one of those things.
Netflix or something, yeah. Something, somewhere.
It was, like, called, like, This Christmas Sucks or something, I forget. It was, they always, like...
Beavis and Butthead Do Christmas or something.
Yeah. Beavis and Butthead Do America. That is a great fucking movie, though, I'll tell you that.
I love that movie.
What?
Like, I wasn't into the TV show, but I love the movie.
That movie is fabulous.
And I love Daria. I love Daria so much. And I love King of the Hill.
I was steadily going through King of the Hill on Netflix, and I got to maybe, like, season 4 or 5. And then they just, like... Mm-hmm. But I was going through it slow. Like, I wasn't watching, like, every night. I would maybe, like, once every 2 weeks I'd watch an episode just to kind of, like, have it... Yeah. I just assumed it would be on there forever, and it would take me, like, 15 years, and I'd get through the whole show. Because I never really watched it in its original run. Mm-hmm. But I was really getting into it. Then, like, one day I went on, and it was gone. Not there. Like, you can't even find it anymore.
Yeah.
So they better fucking bring it back, or I'm going to riot.
It's on Adult Swim at 8 Eastern for an hour.
Yeah, but I want, like, to watch it in my own leisure in, like, in a specific order. Like, if I want to take, like, a 2-week break and come back to, like, when Deal Gribble gets bitten by a raccoon, then that's where I want to pick up right after that.
Yeah, it's not even, like, the Adult Swim website is not very easy to, like, stream stuff from. So you can't go and say, oh, I want to watch this episode or anything. It's not like with The Simpsons streaming.
The Simpsons, like, World app, whatever it's called?
Whatever it is. Like, I've gone on there a couple times.
Oh, I love that thing.
Because I'm like, I really want to watch this episode right now of The Simpsons. And it's not one of the ones airing tonight. So I'll go on to, or it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I really want to watch The Simpsons right now. And I don't have any on my TiVo. So I'll go to like the website.
I assume at one point in time, everything will just be at our disposal without having to like find like a shitty version of it on YouTube, like we've had to the last couple podcasts.
Like these random episodes were like, where the hell are we gonna find them?
Like Small Wonder, we just happen to find it because it's on YouTube, like a grainy edition of it. Oh, speaking of Small Wonder, all right, so the other day we did an episode, a couple weeks ago we did an episode of Small Wonder, and we tweeted it, and we got a response from Vicky the Robot. Vicky the Robot tweeted us. Robot. All right, Robot. Vicky the Robot tweeted us. And she didn't say anything cool, but it was just funny because I was like, I know that name and I know that face. And it was Vicky the Robot.
Robot.
She wrote special episode that deals with shoplifting, but I read it as special episode that deals with shoplifting. So I just hope someday that the actress or the former actress that played her will find this, and I don't know, maybe she can give us a soundbite.
I don't know if she's looking for it.
Yeah, she
I
pretty
think
much
she just likes her life as a nurse.
She's expunged this from her life. Although, I don't know, I can't remember if we talked about this on the Small Wonder episode, but the boy is homeless and lives under a bridge. Did we talk about that?
He was. He's gotten his life together. He met a good girl. He's engaged.
All right. So is he...
He has a home. He's not like the troll under the bridge with the billy goats crossing it.
So he probably has, like, internet now?
Maybe.
So,
probably.
Boy from Small Wonder, if you find this podcast, tweet us at Very Podcast, and we want to talk to you. We want to know what it's like being homeless and being on a TV show in the 80s that was very weird. We will...
That's considered the worst TV show ever.
We'll give you, like, a gift card to Applebee's or something if you come on. I'll cough up, like, $50 so you can take your girlfriend out to dinner, maybe have a few drinks and some apps. But, did we do housekeeping?
Not yet. We haven't.
All right, so I'll go through it real quick.
We kind of started, and then we got, like...
sidetracked.
Off.
I mean, that's basically what the podcast is about. We sometimes we talk about the show that we watched, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we talk about Jared Leto jackets, and...
sometimes we don't. Yeah. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Is that Payday? Is that like a Payday reference?
Almond Joy and Mounds.
Okay. All right. So, allveryspecialpodcast.tumblr.com is our website address.
A very special podcast.tumblr.com.
It's not a real website yet. It's a Tumblr where we are.
There is lots of content on there. There's links to Pinterest and YouTube.
I don't know. I feel like we, at some point in time, we'll probably do a lot more with it, but we're working on it. And as I already mentioned...
we gotta figure out our own websites first, I think.
At Very Podcast is our Twitter. If you don't feel like dealing with that, you can go to us directly. I'm at Patrick M. Dunn, and she's at Kat DVS.
Yes, KATDVS.
Sometimes I tweet inappropriate things, and Kat lives, blogs, everything that is on television during the day.
I'm terrible. I had okay, so we were supposed to record last night, so I made this really big Jack and Coke. It was probably 3 shots of Jack in this huge cup with some Coke splashed on. There was a lot of ice, and I was just sucking it down, waiting for you, and then you're like, I gotta cancel. I was like, crap. So I go online and I start reading tweets about General Hospital. I'm just like, fuck it. And I start tweeting, angry tweeting.
Angry tweeting all night. I sometimes I don't go on Twitter for 4 or 5 hours, and I come on and get those while you are away, and then there's always 3 from you.
I hate those things. When I check my phone, I'm like, why are you showing me this? Just show me the tweets.
Yeah.
Don't show me while I was away. I know I was away. That's why I'm here, to see what I missed.
I think it knows who you mostly interact with or fave stars. So like I don't know. I haven't figured out that formula yet, but it's always like there's always like 2 or 3 from you in there.
They're probably like something about General Hospital or something.
Yeah, it's usually like something that you watched that day in the previous 4 hours. But anyway, so we watched My So-Called Life, the Halloween episode, because it's Halloween time. And this is the 9th episode of the only season of the show.
Mm-hmm.
It aired in October sometime of 1994, we previously established.
October 27th, 1994.
Yeah, and although this is like halfway through the series, it is a pretty good like jumping in point though for some weird reason. I don't know why. Like I got the impression that like I'm sure a lot of important stuff happened before this episode, but it was just so like I haven't seen the show in I don't know since like I was in like 9th grade maybe when like the last time MTV aired it, so I forget a lot of things.
Yeah,
and I'm just like this could have been the first episode because they explain things. And
it's very clear what everybody's connection is for the most part. Like maybe you're not totally sure you understand some stuff, but it's pretty obvious like how everyone is connected, who they are to each other,
and like their attitudes on life. Like so the show opens with like a moody voiceover by Claire Danes' character Angela Chase.
Yes.
I don't remember the specifics, but she's kind of like talking about Halloween masks, and she didn't want to wear a costume that year because, I don't know, it was childish maybe?
It was, when I was little, I like worshipped Halloween, and truthfully, part of me still does.
And so she just decided to go to school in like her like dumpy flannel, no makeup, her hair barely put together. And she gets to school.
Like, she's just like herself. She's not dressed up. She's like, nobody wears a costume to school, Mom. Like, whatever. I'm not wearing your flapper dress. I am not wearing flapper dress. Stop asking me.
Yeah, what is a flapper dress?
In the 20s, it was those dresses that went down below the knees and had the fringe, like layers of fringe.
Okay.
And the flappers would wear them, and they would, when they would dance, they would like, the strings would move with the dance.
Is that like the tassels on the titties? Like those little things?
Kind of. But like the whole dress has these like strings. So when you do your Charleston or whatever, the strings sway with the movement of the body.
Would that even be appropriate for school? Well, maybe like Halloween.
Dude, I wore one in 7th grade.
Okay, I don't know. I'm thinking like a girl popping out of like a cake with like
No.
over nipples.
You're thinking the wrong thing, Patrick.
Maybe I'm thinking
the wrong thing.
I don't know. I'm thinking like Boardwalk Empire, like when the girls that worked at like the nudie bar or whatever the hell it was that the guy ran.
Yeah, you're in the wrong. You're thinking dirty.
Yeah, of course.
You're thinking dirty.
But in a way though, Angela, like the way she dressed normally is kind of a costume though.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't like quite figured out who she was at this point in time yet.
Mm-hmm.
She's just kind of like navigating high school basically. Like, because the show started off, she had her blonde hair, whatever her real color is.
Yeah, just like this natural kind of like washed out brown.
And then does she have a nervous breakdown?
I think it's not a nervous breakdown. I think she's at that point where she doesn't know exactly who she is. She's kind of feeling like she's not connected to her old best friend, Sharon, and she starts hanging out with Rayanne and Ricky, so she has these new friends, and they're kind of trouble. Like, Rayanne's drinking out of a flask, and there's, like, no supervision. Compared to, like, the girl who's been her best friend. Like, she's at that point where she's growing apart from her old friends, so she's searching for new friends, and she doesn't really know where she fits.
Yeah, and, like, although she's, like, close with Rayanne, you kind of know that, like, probably at the end of the school year, Rayanne probably won't talk to her anymore. You kind of get that vibe.
Yeah, they probably did not stay. Like, honestly, I don't think they stayed friends.
No, like, if they did, like, I don't know,
this is a flapper dress.
Okay. Oh, I know that. Okay. Yeah, that's not that slutty.
No, it's not.
But if they did like a 20 years later of My Sluggot Life, it would be the first time in 20 years that Rayanne and Angela like ran into each other. They'd be like, "Oh, remember that time that like we broke into the school on Halloween and tried to have a seance?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, that's cool."
Yeah.
They're probably like Facebook friends now. And
yeah, they're like probably those Facebook friends. You're like, oh yeah, just this girl I went to high school with. I might as well just accept her because if I don't, I'm sure somebody else will be like, why didn't you accept her?
And Rayanne's probably like
but they don't talk.
Rayanne's probably like a born again Christian. She kind of seems like because she kind of like peaked real young.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so by the time she was probably like 18, like, what is there left to do? She's done everything under the sun.
Well, she probably like okay, this is gonna sound really mean.
It's okay. I mean, we can be critical,
but I feel as though Rayanne was probably the friend who got knocked up by senior year, probably by Tino, who we never see.
Oh yeah, Tino.
And things kind of fall apart with him. So she's like a single mom, and then she like gets her life together and finds a guy, has more kids, but she's like different. She's like now she's the total soccer mom. Now she's probably more like Angela's mom than she was like her own mother.
And then she has like that weird.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, she has like that. I know people like that because I like went through my Facebook and that like the other night and I was like, all right, who are the Rayannes of my Facebook right now? And there was like 4 that I pinpointed up because there's like girls that like I went in high school. They dropped out when they were like juniors or seniors, and they kind of just like disappeared until they resurfaced in like Facebook time. And then I looked at them and I was like, wow, they have like 12-year-old kids now, and they're like,
I'm like, whoa,
super mom. Like,
there's like 5 people I grew up with, and they all have like kids who are like 14 or so, and I'm like, guys, we only graduated 15 years ago. What the hey? Some of them have kids who are older than that, but
it's like my son's going into high school tomorrow. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I just got out of high school. Like, oh shit, I got out of high school 15 years ago. I was like,
it's like, wait, what?
So that's Rayanne in a nutshell. Then you got Ricky Vasquez. What's his name?
Yes, Ricky.
So he's like the only gay kid in school, probably.
The only one who knows he's gay.
And that's like flamboyantly
like
gay.
It's obvious.
Yeah. So like there's probably like 3 or 4 other guys maybe that he messes around with, but he keeps it on the DL.
He probably doesn't even mess around with anybody because he's so terrified of getting beat up. Like, think about that scene with Jordan.
He gets beat.
Where Jordan's like, you better get out of here.
Is that in another
And
episode?
he's like, yeah.
Or is it in this one that we watched tonight?
No, it's in this one.
Are they under the bleachers?
Yeah, when they're under the bleachers.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, because they're like at a sports thing.
They're not even at a sports thing. It's Jordan and his stupid friends just like doing stupid stuff because it's Halloween. And what else are they supposed to do but tear up the track with their motorcycles or knock over garbage cans?
Smoke butts in the woods.
Yes,
Jordan doesn't have a big part in this episode, though. He has like a weird like C storyline that he skips class.
Actually, well, okay, so the main storyline is that there was this guy 20 years before, Nikki Driscoll, who is basically 20 years ago's version of Jordan Catalano.
No, it was 30 years ago because it was the early 60s.
Oh, was it 30?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 30. Sorry. Math is hard. But yeah, so it's like Jordan 30 years ago who was the kid who, he had the friend. Maybe he's a good kid, but he has the bad friends who encourage him to do stupid stuff. And so he goes along with it because he values the friendship or whatever. Maybe they don't value the friendship the way he values it. And then something stupid happens. Like Nikki dies helping his friend hang a stupid dummy of the principal from the rafters. And Jordan's like saying, oh, well, I got to like hang out with these guys because, I got to.
I didn't pick up on it. That's pretty deep.
Really?
I didn't notice that.
I totally picked up on that.
I just
But I was trained to do that. That is what I went to college for. I was trained to pick up on this stuff.
So Nicky Driscoll, he like climbed. He was in the gymnasium. He climbed up the rafters and like went to the top of the gym, I guess, and like I don't know, slipped and broke his neck or hit his head or something.
Like something happened. Like it's one of those things. It's like one of those stories you hear where nobody knows exactly what happened because it's been told and retold and mangled to this point where it's basically a purple monkey dishwasher. You're lucky you get the kid's name right.
It's kind of like in my school. Like we had this guy like in the 70s, and he would go around. He would like shit everywhere, so they called him like the Mad Shitter. And then like over the years though, the story just evolved into like its own thing, and it was just like, oh, he's in jail now. Oh no, he's dead. He like OD'd, or like this was his locker. No, this was his locker. And it just kind of like, he's like a legend in the school, but it just like, this is pre-internet. So nothing was like written down. It's just kind of like foretold in memories. And so this is Nicky Driscoll. No one really knows how he died. He probably just like slipped, fell, hit his head, and like died. But there's kind of like different versions of it. And I don't know, he might be haunting the school. No one really knows, but I don't know. Rayanne kind of heard a story, some strange story. So she wants to break in the school on Halloween night and have a seance.
They think it's the perfect time because Angela in her English class got his old textbook.
Oh, that was it. Okay, I knew something. There was like a weird connection.
How the hell are they still using a textbook 30 years later?
My school totally did. So I'm not.
Like, I feel like it would have fallen apart at this point, unless it's one of those books they bring out every, like, 5 years or something. They're like, oh, let's use this book this year.
No.
But I don't see how a school could afford to do that.
My history book in, like, 8th or 9th grade, probably 9th grade because it was high school, it was, like, written in, like, 1975, before, like, the bicentennial. So they're, like, talking about the bicentennial being in, like, a year from now. And I was like, this is fucking weird.
Oh, my God.
It's been, like, 20 years. Not even. It was, like, 18 years at this point. And then, like, you just see, like...
Oh, my God.
You just see, like, who, like... Class of 81 would, like, write on one of the pages. Or, like, someone drew, like, a joint on a page. Like, a joint in, like, Ben Franklin's mouth.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we were a poor town, so... Like, we had those books. So I could definitely believe having a book from the 60s in high school that year, in 1994.
Wow.
But...
I mean, I think the oldest books we had were, like, maybe 10 years old.
I don't know. You gotta live in a poor school system, I guess. Maybe they had money in Jersey.
I guess. I did kind of live in a rich school system.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Like, we had like 40 people in my class. Like, we couldn't. Like, they had to close down a school and like combine 2 schools. So it was just like, you'd have like, you hear those like horror stories about like 50, 40 people like in one classroom.
Yeah.
That was like us. Like, you had to like share a desk with somebody.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, we had not have that problem.
Like, we had weekly
Not at
readers
all.
for a little bit, but then we stopped getting weekly reader. Did you have that?
Of course we had weekly reader. We had that every week.
Well, it might have been like every 3 monthly reader for us, because that was like the only time we could afford it.
Oh my gosh, yikes.
That's why I always, that's why I don't know a lot, because my school system failed me. So shout out to
I'm putting that together.
Shout out to my hometown. I'm not going to say the name just in case anyone hears it and gets mad. But you can figure it out. If you go online, if you find me on Facebook, you can slowly figure it out. We're like the...
if you find the right Patrick, I'm done.
Yeah, like my old hometown's like the heroin capital of Massachusetts now or something like that. So...
Just find the town that didn't have Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. I talked about it in a previous podcast. My town didn't have Halloween for a long time. I thought it was because of a murder, but it was something else. I don't even remember, to tell you the truth. But we had like fake Halloween.
I think it's in an old podcast.
I believe it's That 70s Show episode, so just dig that one up.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about urban legends of my hometown, and I probably say the name of the town in it, so you can definitely get the information from there.
Yeah.
But Angela gets the Nicky Driscoll book,
Mm-hmm.
She's like they're all kind of like creeped out. Rayanne's like, we need to break into school tonight, have a seance, find out what the hell happened to him. And it's kind of funny because like she's like they know how to do a seance.
Like, they never even do a seance, but Rayanne's just like, gotta do something. This is a sign. You got Nikki's book. We gotta try and contact him. It'll be epic.
Like,
it seems like it's one of those things where you're at that age where you really have no freaking clue what you're supposed to do on Halloween.
Yeah, we talked about that.
But you still want to do something.
We talked about that in that 70 Show episode where they're kind of like, they were like, should we just break into the school and like tell ghost stories? Like, what the hell do we do? That's like Fez totally wanted to trick or treat, but the other kids were like,
because he'd never gone before.
And the other kids were like, no, like we need to do something. Like we have to do something. We don't know what we have to do.
Yeah.
So Rayanne just like fills up her flask.
With, I don't even know what's in there.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Like, well, it was it already established that she had like a crazy drinking problem at this point?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because isn't there an episode where, like, cause she's in a band with Jordan?
With who?
Isn't she in a band with Jordan?
I honestly
like
don't remember.
Like the Burning Embryos or something? I don't remember the name of the band. The Frozen Embryos?
Oh, God.
It's like a punk band.
Yeah, there's probably something.
It's something weird like that.
She's definitely a troubled young lady.
Let's ask Google Jordan Catalano's band name.
You know it's going to give you 30 seconds to Mars, right?
Yeah, probably. I didn't even think of that.
Okay, Google. What is Jordan Catalano's band name? Oh. What is Jordan Catalano's band name? Frozen Embryos.
I knew it was something
later
like that.
Called Residue.
I knew it was something weird like that. And I think Rayanne sings in the band in one episode, right? And they're doing like a cover of the Ramones, and she's like wasted and she can't even get through the song.
Yeah, probably.
And I don't know, she's like a nervous breakdown on stage, and like Angela's all worried. She's like, "Oh fuck, Rayanne, like come to me."
Yeah, Rayanne is definitely troubled.
So should we continue?
Here it is. Oh. Rayanne is recruited as the band's new singer, but is stricken with severe stage fright and runs off stage at the club Vertigo without singing a note. This leaves Jordan to take over on vocals.
And I believe the song is I Want to Be Sedated by the Ramones. I believe that's the song that they were trying to sing. For some reason, I'll always remember that. Now, should we jump ahead in the storyline with Angela and Rayanne, or should we tap into the other side plots of the storyline of the show?
Well,
what is more important?
This is kind of like the big one, the Angela Rayanne stuff. Everything is kind of around it.
I think we should continue.
Unless you think the pirate and Rapunzel is that important.
I think we should finish the Rayanne and Angela story, and then we'll just kind of like laugh at the other stupid plots that they have that were going on.
Okay, hold on. Let me get more sangria.
Let me get more wine.
If anybody's watching live, they should tweet us right now.
We have 0 viewers.
So
I was going to play music, but you came back. So F that.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so we kind of cut forward to later on in the night. So Angela decides to go to the school. And how does Brian Krakow get in this crowd?
Okay, so word got to Ricky, probably from Angela, about what Rayanne wanted to do.
I just skipped over an important puzzle piece in this. So Ricky was Brian Krakow for Halloween.
Yes.
Which I thought he did a poor impersonation of Brian Krakow because he really didn't like. I feel like the clothing choice wasn't right.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at the scene where he returns the clothes, and I was like, there's really not that much difference. Like, I don't see... like a difference in the style that much. Like, I think I was missing something.
Because like Ricky as Brian Krakow, he was like wearing like maybe like an Aeropostale shirt that had like the numbers on it.
It was like a jersey, like a school jersey or something.
But I feel like Brian Krakow always wears like button-ups, like light colored buttons. Yeah. And I like, you know those shirts that you buy at like American Eagle that says like 84?
Yeah.
He was like wearing one of those. Like Ricky as Brian Krakow wearing one of those. I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't understand how that was a Brian outfit. It didn't make sense to me.
But I mean, it was actually Brian's clothes, so maybe it was like something he got like for Christmas from like his grandparents. Just assumed that he might like this shirt and just gave it to him, and then Brian's like, "Yeah, I'll just give it to Ricky. What the fuck? Why not?" But
yeah, Ricky, you can wear this one.
Like, and then like Ricky just didn't wear makeup that day, so that's like him as Brian.
Yeah,
Krakow.
that was like
he like didn't get a wig, like a Brian Krakow wig.
Yeah, he was just like dressed just a little differently with no makeup.
Yeah, it's basically like Ricky woke up late for school, didn't have time to throw fucking eyeliner on, and just threw on like an American Eagle shirt, went to school, and he's just like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And they're like, "Oh shit, Ricky, you're not wearing makeup today." And he's like, "I'm Brian Krakow."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I totally see it." And then it's like, they allow him to go in the ladies' room.
I guess if the girls don't complain, you know.
I don't know. I feel like it's still kind of like a weird thing.
Like, it is kind of weird, especially in 1994. Like, today, I could see a school totally being like, oh, okay, you want to use the like, girls' room? You can use the girls' room. We don't want a lawsuit.
Yeah, but I don't know, because I feel like you weren't even allowed to look at a ladies' room in 1994. Like, for me anyway. Like, I couldn't...
Yeah, like...
They were so far away from each other. They were, like, segregated.
Really? Ours were always, like, near each other, like, because they'd share a wall. I feel like, yeah, they would share a wall.
Separated. Are we going to get in trouble for, like, because we already got in trouble for making fun of old technology. Are we going to get in trouble for saying that ladies' rooms and men's rooms were close to each other in the 90s?
You know what? Whatever. That guy was a bitter troll.
Yeah, so we got our first troll today. World.
At like 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, was it that early in the morning?
Yeah, I was going to bed. And I look at my email, I'm like, what the hell is this? So I screenshot it and sent it to you.
So the funny thing about it, though, is I don't even remember, like, what it's... He makes reference to something specific, and I'm like, I don't even remember.
It's not even anything, like, specific. It's like, I'm pissed off when people talk about old technology. Like, bitch about it. I'm like, what the... It's like 2:30 in the morning reading this. I'm like, what the hell did we say in the Garfield podcast?
Yeah, but
like,
I feel like you can't, like, whatever somebody says on a podcast, like, you can't hold it against them because it's a fucking podcast, one. Like, it's not...
I was just like, what could we have said that pissed this guy off so much? I was like, what the hell?
If you hear this, tweet us at Very Podcast and tell us specifically what pissed you off because we want to know. I think it's because I said that it was a weird time when there was only like 20 channels. And then you were talking about like a weird remote control that like your parents had.
Yeah, my uncle, he had a remote control. It was like a box shape. And it was like literally connected to the TV. Like there was a cord. So that you could sit at the back of the like rec room.
The rec room. And
still control the TV. And it had a switch on it. I'll see if I can find a picture of it.
Please do. Put it on the website.
And yeah, but I thought it was maybe that, or when you were talking about the animation and the background being like still, because I went and re-listened to it this afternoon. I was like, what did we say to like get this kind of weird response? And I was like, I don't know. It's like maybe this, maybe that. I have no idea.
Those first like 5 or 6 podcasts are all a blur. I don't remember anything. Like
You're pretty drunk. I could not tell you what we talked about during that 70s show because I drank that whole bottle of wine that night.
We could do that episode again, and I would just say completely different things on it, only because I just don't remember watching it. I think I was drunk when I watched it. I think that should be I think that should be the new thing that we do. We have to be drunk when we watch the show and when we discuss it.
That would be really interesting.
And the last episode of this podcast ever ends with us in rehab. Or jail, or wherever we end up. Hell. We'll see you in hell.
I'm not going to jail.
You wouldn't go to jail for the podcast?
No, I would not go to jail for the podcast.
It'd be fun, like Orange is the New Black, even though I've never seen it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, found it.
Oh, that is awesome. I want that.
Yeah.
Can you buy one?
Yeah, I'll post a picture.
All right. Go to a very special podcast.tumblr.com. You can see a picture of an old remote control, and you can use that remote control to watch My So-Called Life.
Oh, no. I think this is, there's several. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Jesus Christ.
There's several different, I think this was what it was. It was like a combination of one of the two.
All right. Yeah, put them both on there so we can see them both,
yeah.
And we'll have like a vote on what one it actually was.
Which one it actually was. I should just like email my cousin. I should just Facebook and be like, which one of these did you guys have? Because I need to know for a podcast.
What year did they have that? Because that seems like something you would have it...
Early 80s.
They had that in the 1980s? Because I feel like I had an actual remote control in the 80s.
Well, they had cable, I think, for a while, so it was before they upgraded to like a new cable box.
So they had like original cable still?
I don't know. Like, they probably got it in, like, the late 70s or something when cable, like, became a thing.
But it carried over to, like, 1980, whatever year that this was. 1980.
Yeah, because it had to have been at least until 87 they had this.
They don't adapt? They're not early adopters?
I'm gonna Facebook my cousins later and ask them.
Do they own an iPhone? Or do they still have, like a flip, like a Razor or a Sidekick?
I have no idea.
Find out. Our fans.
I don't know if I don't have their phone numbers. I'm an awful cousin. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, there's a lot of relatives I don't have phone numbers of. I just have their Facebook, and I just like if you have to get in touch with them, you just send them a Facebook message or like an Instagram.
Yeah,
you just send them
here's a Facebook.
Wow. All right. So we're in the school in My So-Called Life land.
Mm-hmm.
Angela, Rayanne, Brian Krakow, and Ricky, they break in.
Well, no, Ricky doesn't break in. Ricky's like, I am not doing this. I'm leaving.
Oh, so it's just Rayanne and Brian and Angela. And Angela kind of goes off on her own adventure.
Yeah, okay, so Brian knows, like, there's a way to sneak into the school via, like, this old area where you can push the window in. So they go in that way. Ricky's not there for it, so he leaves. That's when Ricky runs into Jordan under the bleachers, is when he's leaving. So
Jordan and Ricky, they're, like, behind the school. Rayanne, Brian, and Angela sneak in the school, and it's like a stairwell.
Yeah, they're like in a storage area where, students wouldn't go. It's one of those doors that just locks automatically. And Ryan's holding it open. Angela gets ahead of them. Rayanne stops to fix her stockings. And Brian gets just lost in the vision of her legs as she pulls the red fishnets up and straightens them, and the door closes and locks them out.
Brian Krakow basically has a boner, and the door closes and locks. So now they're stuck in the school because they were supposed to prop the door open, right?
Yeah,
they were gonna put a wooden block or something, or a shoe maybe.
Because schools lock up for the night, and then they usually lock up different parts. Have you ever been in a school after hours?
No, I can't say I have. I never went on this magical adventure that people in TV shows do.
Okay, so back in the day. Okay, so probably like around 93, 94. I remember one of my friends and I, there was like a grade school. And my brother had like karate lessons, so part of the school was open, but you couldn't explore the whole school. They had gates that the custodian went and locked up at a certain point so that you couldn't, if you were there for like the 7:00 karate lesson, you couldn't like roam around the school to other parts of the building. Or like when we had school dances, you couldn't leave the school dance and go to your locker for something because there was a gate closing that hallway off. It wasn't like the Breakfast Club where you could run around wherever.
Oh, you know what though?
Like stuff was actually locked up. So
I could actually, like, now that you're saying all this, because I'm thinking like I'm like breaking into school. I've actually like, they had like a basketball game or something one time, and I remember like going to my locker. No, I lied. They didn't have. I never went to a basketball game. Are you kidding me? They had a thing called Saturday school. So if you were like, if you did like shitty during the week, which I went to like a shitty public school, so I always did shitty during the week. You would have to go to like Saturday school and do your homework. Like they would give you like weekend homework.
Oh my god, I totally remember you talking about this back in the day.
I used to have to go all the time. So it would be like, let's say like you like got like you had a test on like Friday and you didn't pass it. Well, it probably wasn't Friday because it was probably like the test was probably like Wednesday and you knew by Friday you had to go. So like, let's say you had a test during the week and you like got like a 50. On like Friday, they'd be like, you have to go to Saturday school tomorrow and like reread the chapter and retake the test. And it was awful. It was like 3 hours long, and you would just have to like sit in like a weird room, and there's just like all like losers, all Jordan Catalanos, like reading. And then like you can go up to the teacher and like ask questions, and then like you would like take the test. You basically like he basically would give you the answers though, so it kind of like defeated the purpose. But I remember going in and I forgot to bring my book home on Friday, so I had to go to my locker and get it. And I just remember, like, like I was like, you know what? I'm just going to walk around the whole school. So I did. Like, I was freely allowed to walk around the school. So I didn't have those, like, weird security measures that you had in your school.
Yeah, it was weird because they didn't always put them up. Like, if there was a dance, they'd be up. But I remember once Okay, so I used to get detention a lot in the 6th grade for, like, the dumbest reason.
Like being late?
So I'd be late to school all the time.
Me too.
Like, by, like, 10 seconds, like, the bell rings and my homeroom teacher would lock that door, so you have to go get a pass. And after you're late, like, 3 times or something, you have to go to detention. It was the lamest detention.
Yeah.
To go sit in this, like, tower room, and you have to fill out a packet, like, explaining what you did wrong. It would be, like, it would have, like, this stupid story. I still remember it was about this kid who stayed up late watching Rocky Horror Picture Show, and he was late to school and had to explain why what he did was wrong and what he could do to alleviate to fix the situation or whatever. So, of course, that made me want to see Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's awesome.
It didn't make me want to go to school first thing. Like, part of the reason I didn't want to go to school right away is because I had an awful teacher for social studies first period. Once I got taken out of her class, I was almost never late.
Do you know I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show?
You haven't?
No.
Oh my god.
Is it available anywhere? We could do it for the podcast.
I'll find out.
We'll just cancel everything we have for the future and just do Rocky Horror Picture.
Yeah, so it made me want to see Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I remember part of why I looked up what was on TV on Halloween that year that this episode aired was I wanted to see if that was possibly the year I stayed home and I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show on VH1.
Was it on VH1 that year? Obviously not, because you said you didn't see it.
You know, I only got like the network listings, but the network listings, I was like, I think this is what I watched. I think maybe it was the next year. So. I also like for some reason like so we always like whatever you got in trouble for, you had that packet you had to do. It would be about that. Sometimes for some reason though, they'd give me the chewing gum in class packet, and I'd just be like, I didn't chew gum in class. I was late to school. Miss Peck locked the door as I was going into the room.
One time, I got detention, but it got like. No, I was going to have detention, but it ended up getting canceled only because like the dean, I was like kind of cool with him. Like I used to kind of do like weird side jobs with him sometimes. But we left school to watch a fight, and it was like the best. It was a girl fight. It was two girls fighting. So there was this one girl. She found out that this other chick banged her boyfriend, and she was like, "I'm gonna beat the fuck out of this girl." So we like. Found out like where her first class was. So we went to school. We went to our first class because we had a study. And the study was in the cafeteria. So we're in the cafeteria, and the girl's like, "All right, let's just fucking go right now. Let's go stand outside a room, and then we're gonna grab her because it was right near like one of the exit doors. We're like, we're gonna fucking grab her. We're gonna bring her outside, and we're gonna beat the fuck out of her." I'm like, I am fucking coming for this. I'm like, I am gonna see this. So we left the class like study 5 minutes early. We walked around the school. We went to like outside of the classroom door. We were all looking in the window, the doorway. It's like you can see inside the glass door, and you can see her sitting in her chair. And she fucking knew what was happening. She's like, "Oh fuck."
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So the bell rang, and like all the students leave like one by one, and she's like taking her time, thinking like maybe we'll like get lost in the crowd or something, or maybe she can like slip out. But no, she waited too long, and she like came up by herself. The other girl just fucking grabs her, takes her outside, and she's like calling her a bitch, calling her a whore, a slut, a cunt, and they just stopped fucking going at it. And it was the best thing I've ever saw in my life. Like nothing is better than a chick fight in like 10th grade.
Oh my gosh.
Like, if I could go back in time, like anywhere in history, it would be to just watch that fight again.
Just to watch that fight again? Fabulous.
Like amazing things happen in this world, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see that fight again because I bring my cell phone and I take a pic of it. I'd fucking Instagram that shit. I'd come back and Instagram it.
Oh my gosh.
That's one of the reasons like I'm kind of doubtful of time travel, only because like you figure someone would have went back in time and Instagrammed that shit.
Yeah, let's just Instagram that shit.
Like, let's go back to the 1700s and Instagram that shit.
Throwback Thursday, Time Travel Thursday, Instagram.
TTT. I would take...
Oh my god, that's... Okay, Thursday, I'm totally gonna do, like, a post on Instagram, and I'm gonna hashtag it Time Travel Thursday.
What do you think, Alright, tying back to this episode, what do you think, Angela Chase would tweet or Facebook or Instagram tonight? Or any of the characters, not just necessarily Angela.
Okay, Rayanne would be like... She would be the mom who takes the pictures of her kids with, like, the Pinterest
No, I
perfect...
mean, like, let's say they had Instagram this night, or whatever. They had social media this very night.
Oh, they had social media back then?
Yeah.
Ryan would totally be tweeting about like how awesome the night is, and it's the greatest night of his life, and that he got to sleep next to Rayanne.
He'd be like, Rayanne's thighs.
He would like take a picture. He'd take that selfie like as she's asleep, like best night ever.
And then like,
and then Rayanne would be like, I don't know what happened. What are you talking about? Photoshop.
And Rayanne would take a picture of Angela sleeping in the hallway when she had her, like, hallucination.
Look at this chick.
All right, we have to get to that. All right, so Angela is, like, hallucinating or seeing ghosts, like, in the school.
She's convinced herself she's seeing, what's his name, Nikki?
Nikki Driscoll?
Yeah, Nikki Driscoll. Walking around the halls. And he's a cute kid. He's got, like, the blue eyes, the dark hair, got like the bowling shirt. Like, he's totally a hot little guy. total Jordan Catalano like attitude though.
But
so of course Angela's like obsessed with him, like, oh, I have to like talk to you, I have to stop you. Don't do it, Nikki. Don't do it.
So she relives his death, kind of, like the night of his death. Do you think she, like, passed out? Do you think she took drugs? Do you think she took a swill out of Rayanne's bottle? But I don't think that would make you hallucinate. So, like, what do you think happened? This is where I get kind of puzzled by the episode.
Yeah, I think...
Because, like...
Angela...
Like, were they going for a ghost story? Like, was that their whole point? Like, did they...
I think they were going for a ghost story. I think Angela believed she saw something. I think her mind put together the pieces it wanted to put together the conversation with Nikki that she wanted to have with Jordan. Because remember, she cannot talk to Jordan. Jordan terrifies her, but she still lusts after him.
Yeah, she's kind of like, she's pursuing him, but she deep down, she knows that she shouldn't. And she's like just trying to get over him, but he just like, he keeps showing up. Like, she always bumps into him in the hallways. The teachers, like, he's been skipping class, so they want to expel him, and they know he's not been in class, so, like, they go to Angela because they know she's kind of, like, always hanging out with him.
I guess she's the only one who reacted, because she's like, she's thinking to herself, do I know Jordan Catalano? Does anybody know Jordan Catalano? She overthinks everything.
Yeah. What did you...
That's part of Angela's problem. She overthinks everything. She analyzes everything. Like, do I know him? What should I talk to? What should I say? Oh my god. It's a little annoying. I kind of wanted to slap her and be like, girl, get a hold of yourself. And then I was like, I was probably exactly the same way at 16, though.
Did you find the voiceovers annoying, though?
Not really. Like, they just seem to work.
You
find them annoying?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of, like, the voiceover. Like, only if, like, it's specifically told from... The entire story's told from that person's perspective. But they, like, jump off into other factions of the show. So, like, you get, like, the parents'
That's true. You don't have Angela voicing over Graham and Patty, or
her sister
Jordan and Ricky.
Yeah, so like,
or the sister and Sharon. Yeah.
So that's where I was confused, because like Veronica Mars did the same thing too. Like Veronica Mars would do like voiceovers, but they would like jump to other characters, and you're just like, it bothers me that they can just kind of like freely bounce around like that.
Yeah.
So how does the main story end?
Okay, so Angela confronts Nikki, like she sees Nikki. She's picked up this flower that was on the gym floor. The gym looked like a dance had just taken place. There's music kind of playing. She sees these two girls. One's in an outfit like just exactly like the one Rayanne made her wear. And they're talking about how, oh no, they scratched my 45 or my record or something. Because I guess you had to bring your own records to the sock hop.
Did you?
Actually, you know, I know they did, because I remember my mother telling me she used to bring her albums to, like, parties and stuff and sock hops, and she stopped because they would get scratched or stolen.
What the fuck is a sock hop, actually? Like, can we time out?
It's like a dance, and you're allowed to take your shoes off and dance so you don't mess up the gym floor kind of thing.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So Angela sees these girls and she follows them, and she sees Nikki at the end of the hall, and his friend has this like dummy which is supposed to be the principal, because I guess they got expelled for not going to class or whatever. And the friend's like, come on, we gotta hang this up in the gym. It'll be hilarious because we're hanging the principal. And the guy's like, I don't know. It sounds kind of... Nikki's kind of like, I don't know, but because you're my friend, I'll do it. And Angela's like, don't do it, don't do it. And he's heartbroken because the girl rejected him, and he's like, I gotta feel alive. And you know he's like going in there and he's gonna die doing this stupid prank.
And he dies.
Yeah, he does die.
He dies in the 60s. Angela passes out in the hallway.
Like, she falls asleep in the hallway.
Rayanne wakes her up, like, the next morning.
Rayanne wakes her up in the morning. They, like, rush home and change.
Then they have to come back to school?
And then they come back to school.
So they come back to school, and, like, Brian thinks he's like, oh, I had this, like, deep moment with Rayanne, and she's, like, already forgotten him. Like, she, like, walks...
Brian thinks he had the greatest night of his life. Like, he's cool. He's in with Rayanne. Like, she's maybe not going to be such a bitch to him anymore. And she's just like, she told Ricky nothing happened. And Ricky's like this part, like, when Ricky's talking to Brian, you can tell Ricky's like, more happened than what Rayanne's letting on.
He doesn't give a fuck.
But I got to protect my girl.
Yeah. And, you know what, like, Rayanne's not even, like, she's not even that cool.
She really isn't.
No, she's kind of annoying. I was just like, oh my god, like, I would hate to hang around with this chick.
Honestly, Rayanne kind of reminds me of some girls I went to college with.
Like,
who lived in one of my dorms.
I remember originally watching
and they were into the whole, like, let's do a seance. Let's go break into this abandoned house. Like, they just want to do stupid shit for no reason.
But I remember, like, when I first watched the show originally, I just remember, like, wow, Rayanne's so cool. She's like...
Yeah, I remember thinking Rayanne was so cool back then. Now I'm like, oh my god, she's annoying.
I was like, I wish they expelled her in episode, like, 4 or whatever. Like, I felt bad for her when she was in the Frozen Embryos and she froze on stage. Yeah. And I was like, oh, poor Rayanne. Now I'm like, oh, thank God she froze on stage. Thank God.
Yeah, I'm kind of like...
But
yeah, I, like, understand now why the parents were, like, so distraught over Angela's change.
Totally understand the parents' point of view in the series now.
Okay, there's one more thing with Angela. Okay, so she's in her class, and she's got this, like, 30-year-old book or whatever, and she opens it up after, like, Jordan finally decides to show up for class. And, of course, this teacher is a bitch.
Yeah, she was kind of a douchebag. Like,
you can tell she's got her tenure, and she just doesn't give a shit. She's like, I got my job. Nothing you guys say is going to get me fired. So, Angela, you tell Jordan to come to class while I'm dressed up like Obi-Wan Kenobi or whatever.
Yeah, it totally was Obi-Wan Kenobi. She was just like the teacher. She's probably like 10 years away from retirement. This is like pre-internet, where you didn't, like, you could have had a shitty teacher and no one would have ever known. Mm-hmm. It's like now you go online, like, my teacher sucks, and everyone knows, like, that's a shitty teacher.
Yeah, it's not like what I had to deal with in the 6th grade with my, like, social studies teacher. She's probably the exact same kind of teacher who's been doing this for so long. She's got, like, her way of teaching, and if you don't fit into that, you are trouble. And that's kind of how she sees Jordan, because Jordan has trouble reading.
Yeah, he's illiterate, right?
What? He's illiterate. Like, I think maybe later on they discover he's dyslexic. I don't know. I don't remember. But he has trouble, and nobody's tried to help him, so everybody just writes him off. And when you have a teacher who just thinks of, like, your special ed kids, like the ones who need a little help with dyslexia or whatever, as trouble, it comes through because they treat everybody like crap, because I had a teacher like that too.
Yeah, that was, like, one thing about the show that, like, really worked, because, like, 90210 kind of, like, tried to deal with, like, learning disabilities, because, like, Donna had a learning disability, but it was, like, a mismanaged storyline. They just kind of, like, it was, like, a C storyline, but they kind of, like, kept, like, going on with this with Jordan. Like, you knew, like, there was something wrong with him. He had problems that he was basically being failed by the school system. The school system was failing him.
Yeah.
And Angela kind of, like, recognized that, and she's, like, trying to pull him into it, trying to, like, you know what, I know the school system is failing you, but just come to class. They'll probably pass you. You'll probably get, like, a C. You might be able to go to, like, junior college or community college if you just stick with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it seems like he doesn't want to. He's, like he shrugged his shoulders at her and he's like, pfft.
He doesn't believe in himself because everybody's told him he's stupid and he's worthless.
But she gets really upset. Angela definitely gets really upset. Yeah. She's, like, hurt by it. That's why she starts having these, like, hallucinations. And like, I don't know, Jordan has like a change of heart overnight, and he's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to class because this like one chick believes in me with red hair, and he goes to class. He just sits down, like he doesn't have to do anything. All he has to do is just show up to class. He can just
all he has to do is show up.
He can look at the book upside down because the school system sucks. But if he shows up, he'll pass at least. He'll definitely pass.
Yeah, he won't. At least he won't get kicked out of school for not showing up.
Yeah, and like
what does he do at school all day that he's not going to class anyways? Just hanging out by the window on the staircase.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was kind of like a weird time because like I kind of had like weird like learning issues too. So it was just kind of like I would just go to class and I would just not understand what was going on.
Yeah,
but I would still go, and like you would just pass. Like you would get like a C, and then you would. Like, if this happened today, you would definitely get, like, a letter sent to him and be like, yeah, there's something wrong with your son. Like, maybe he doesn't know how to read, or maybe he doesn't know how to, like, reading comprehension. Maybe he needs to go to this. But it was just, like, back then, though, like, not even back then. This is, like, 20 years ago. It was just, like, let's just give him a C. And, like, that's enough to get into, like, a state college.
Or at least into, like, the automotive program at the junior college or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, it's just like, oh, he sucks at, like, reading Charles Dickens novels, but he can, like, fix a carburetor.
Yeah.
Or, like, maybe he can cook. I don't know. They'll definitely find something for you. So, that's, like, one of the pluses about the show is they kind of, like, brought a lot of the... Like, because the show did deal with, like, a lot of, like, issues that other shows weren't dealing with. Like,
yeah.
Like, it definitely wasn't, like, the first, like, teen drama, because, like, 90210 kind of, like, dealt with this stuff.
Yeah, 90210 is kind of like, was the first teen drama. And then My So-Called Life took the teen drama, and then it actually, like, was about real teens. It wasn't about rich teens in Beverly Hills. It was about, like, real people.
Yeah, like, because 90210 started to bring the stuff to the forefront. They kind of, like, they would deal with, like, weird, like, they would deal with, like, the normal things that, like, teens go through, but it would just kind of, like, it would only be, like, all right, let's have an episode about, like, teenage pregnancy, or, like, an episode about breast cancer. But My So-Called Life kind of just, like, every episode was, like, about it, like, the recurring theme was, like, everyone in school made fun of Ricky, and it didn't get solved in, like, episode 3. It was just a continuing trend. And, like, Jordan was always, like, kind of slow and sluggish, and no one ever really understood him, and it didn't get, like, solved. It just...
Yeah, it wasn't solved within the hour. It was ongoing.
Yeah. And, like, in 90210, like, Brenda, you know, she struggled to live in Los Angeles at first, but she got over it and was, like, cool. Like, but Angela was just constantly reinventing herself, trying to find out who she was.
Yeah.
Dealing with her shitty friends. Should she hang out with her old friend? Like, who knows? And there was, like, the younger sister, who was just, like...
Yes, the younger sister.
I always hated her, but when I watched this episode, I was like, you know what? I kind of understood the point of her character, because she just was, like... She just kind of wanted to be, like, paid attention. Like, she actually thought, like, Angela was the world.
Yeah, she, like, loves her older sister. She wants attention from her older sister, and her older sister's like, get away from me. You are the worst. Just stay out of my life. Kind of thing.
But, like, she doesn't realize that her sister is just trying to, like, seek an identity of her own.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, like, the way it works is, it's strange.
Were you like that with your younger siblings? Were you like, just get away from me?
Not really. We were all kind of, like, close. Like, because I
definitely was like that with Mark.
I have, like, a brother that's only, like, a year younger than me, so, like, we had the same friends. And then, like, my youngest brother and sister, like, they were, like, significantly younger than me. So it just, like, I didn't even pay attention to them. And then when I talk to them now, they're like, oh, yeah, like, I didn't even know you. And I just didn't even, like, they had, like, because my youngest brother and sister were, like, together. And then it was me and my other brother were, like, together. So it was just kind of, like, two fields of humans, I guess.
Yeah, no, I was definitely like this with my brother. I was like, just go away. Just, like, get away from me. I don't want to deal with you. Like, you are the worst. Go away.
So, what did you think of the episode? Did you like it?
When I first watched it, I told you this is like the most perfect episode ever. And I felt that way because it just felt real. Like for a teenager, when you're like, I don't know what to do. Do I dress up? What am I going to do for this stupid holiday? Like, I can't go trick-or-treating. You know, what am I going to do? Go to a party? What are we going to do at a party? We're not old enough to drink, so we're going to have to sneak that in if we can get our hands on, you know?
Yeah, and like, as cheesy and like as 1990-ish this show felt, there still was like a layer of authenticity to it, though.
Oh yeah, big time.
It's just kind of like cool because like I watch it and it's like, oh yeah, I remember feeling like that.
Exactly.
I remember like waking up going like, I don't want to fucking go to school. It's Halloween. Everyone's gonna dress up. I don't want to dress up. I just want to like go.
I hated trying to pick. Like there were definitely years where the only reason I got a costume was because I had to wear one to school, or I'd be like, not cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, I don't think I ever like. After like 3rd or 4th grade, I don't think I ever wore a costume to school. Other people did, but I was just like, I just want to wear my JC Penney flannel. Mm-hmm. Just let me be. Don't talk to me. I'll just sit in the back of the classroom, just be weird, and let me be.
Like even now, I don't dress up. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah,
I have a T-shirt that says like, "This is my Halloween shirt" or something like that.
A T-shirt that says New York. Oh,
New York Yankees.
But it was. We've been trying to get into the show for a while, and we definitely picked a good episode, I think. And I think we should revisit the show. Maybe we'll pick like not many episodes to pick from. I was gonna say a later episode.
There's really not that many. Yeah. We could probably just do a whole side podcast on
my so-called podcast.
My so-called life. Yeah, my so-called podcast.
Well, we have 2 tentative planned spin-offs. 9021 Oh No and my so-called podcast. Coming at you next year. Where we'll get into the nitty-gritty.
2016.
Maybe we'll reconsider that. We'll do like 1 episode a month.
Maybe we'll see.
We'll see. But looking ahead.
Okay, so wait, I've got fun facts.
Okay, fun facts.
Okay, Claire Danes. She has won 4 Golden Globes total.
For Homeland?
2 for Homeland, 1 for the movie Temple Grandin. She did, I think it was HBO.
Yeah, I remember that.
And 1 for My So-Called Life.
Okay.
And she also has 3 Primetime Emmys.
Homeland?
2 for Homeland, 1 for Temple Grandin.
Oh, I always forget about Temple Grandin. Okay.
Yeah, and then Jared Leto, of course, won the Oscar, Golden Globe, and pretty much almost every award possible for Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you add up all of his wins for, like, that one role, they equal all of Claire Danes' awards total for, like, all her multiple roles.
Have you ever watched Homeland?
Like, I was actually getting lost, like... Nope.
I've never seen Homeland.
Because I don't have... What is it, Showtime?
Yeah.
I don't have Showtime. I remember I used to have Showtime, and I remember the commercials and just being like, no.
Do you know, like, after... I'm not really, like, a big Claire Danes fan, to be honest with you. I think, like, this show was... Like, I liked her in this show, but, like, her every other role, I just didn't really care.
I like her in this and Romeo and Juliet.
I knew you were going to say that. But anything else, like, after that, I'm just like, yeah, she seems kind of pretentious.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, eh. There's just, like, nothing I'm like, oh my god, I have to see her in this.
Yeah, like, I have very little desire to see Homeland.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like my kind of show. AJ Langer, who played Rayanne, is now the Countess of Devon in England.
Like, not a show, but in actual England? Like, the country?
Yes, like, she's actually a countess.
Okay. What about Ricky Vasquez?
Wilson Cruz, he's still acting. He does, like, small stuff. He was on the failed Fox show Red Band Society, which if you haven't watched, you got to get your hands on because it is amazing.
Can we find it?
Amazing. I'm pissed. It's probably on Hulu.
Can we find it, like, post-Halloween? We can try to watch it?
Yeah.
All right. We know Jared Leto. We know what he's been up to.
Yes, Jared Leto. You know, we have our Jared Leto shout-out almost every episode. It feels weird when there isn't a Jared Leto mention.
That is true.
Devin Rummersall, who plays Brian Krakow, is still acting. He was recently on an episode of Mad Men.
Okay, I remember him actually being on that. Okay.
Yeah, I remember, like, everybody was... I remember watching it, because my boyfriend watched it, and I was like, that guy looks really familiar. And, like, someone's like, oh my god, is that Brian Krakow? And I was like, oh, that's who that guy is. Fun fact, he is originally from Durango, Colorado.
Okay. Shout out to one of your hometowns.
Yes. Bess Armstrong, who played the mom, Patty, is still acting. She currently on the CBS show Zoo.
Okay, never heard of it.
That aired over the summer. I didn't really watch it. She's actually there's a TV miniseries in the 80s, which is like classic ridiculous, called Lace.
Yeah, you talked about it.
It has
you said we were trying to do it for the podcast, but we can't find it.
Oh no, I can find it.
Okay.
I found it.
Right.
I've watched the whole thing. It is ridiculous and stupid. It's called Lace. You can find it on YouTube. This is like the most famous line from this miniseries. Which one of you bitches is my mother?
Classic Patty chase line.
Yeah, and then Tom Irwin, who plays the dad, is currently on Devious Me.
I thought you were going to say he's currently dead. He's currently dead. So that is My So-Called Life.
Yes, it is.
That is another My So-Called podcast. Join us next week when we're doing Roseanne's second Halloween episode.
Yes, Roseanne, Trick or Treat.
So find it on like dailymotion.com is somewhere. We forgot we always forget to. You can find this episode of My So-Called Life on Hulu.
Yes, Hulu.
They have it.
Every episode is on Hulu.
Yep. If you need to sign in, just send me a tweet and I'll give you my password.
You shouldn't need to sign in.
Okay, that's good to know. So, thank you for joining us this week. We did like an hour and 15 minutes. And join us next week. And as always, until next time.
Bye!